In the studios, we are joined by Betchani Tchereni, an economist from Mubas, in the studios to discuss recent economic trends as they are happening in the country. First up, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It is a pleasure that you have decided to make it this morning. Nice suit, by the way.
Thank you.
A special Valentine's gift.
She tries. She tries her best.
Now, relatively a month and a half into the year 2023, have you seen anything new that will help propel the economy forward?
Look, one wouldn't say that we should have expected anything new for now. What is important is for us to look forward to what is going to happen in the next week, or this week actually, and the next 2 weeks. There are two important statements that are going to be made: the State of the Nation address by the President, and also the budget statement by the Minister of Finance. But what I think I have noted is that after the reshuffle, my eyes have been on the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and in there I think there's a new minister who is now focusing on the manufacturing part, the industry part. I think that's something that is giving us, some of us, some hope, because previously we have had ministers of trade and industry who have been ministers of trade and trade only, without focusing on the industry part. I think this minister is trying to say that, look, there's going to be no trade if there's no industrialization, and I think that's something that we can write about, that there's some hope that we can say that it's coming in. When we look at the crop estimates, the figures are not here yet officially. The AIP, basically it has faced a lot of hitches in terms of logistics, and being an agri-based economy, that kind of gives you some jitters to say, is the economy going to behave the way we should have wanted it to behave? But the crop estimates are going to tell us something. Tobacco estimates, maize estimates, and maybe the other estimates. Maybe we are going to have some hope based on that. But when you look at how the AIP has behaved, it doesn't strike me with any hope that the economy might actually be revamped this year. I'm hoping that the Minister of Trade and Industry, I'm inclined to be saying that the Minister of Industry and Trade, because that's where I want us to focus most. I think he's making some strides. He has had some discussions with I think Project Innovation. I'll be meeting him also just to look into what is it that we can do in order to revamp our economy, basically the manufacturing part. But when you look at the agriculture, subsistence agriculture this year may not necessarily give us what we should have expected.
In the course of explaining, you touched on the State of the Nation address, which is bound to be delivered by the State President of the Republic of Malawi this Friday, of course. In terms of economic policies, what is it that you're expecting from this address?
Look, I think last year we had a conversation with you here just before the State of the Nation address, and I remember to have said that, look, I am waiting to read the State of the Nation address that is going to be more forceful, something that is going to be action packed, and I think that's what I'm looking for also. I think the tough time has been there. It needs tough decisions, and decisions not on paper, but decisions in terms of action. And what I'm expecting the President to say is that we are doing this. We are going to do this. I'm not expecting the President to say we will do that. I think the time for wills is gone.
It's over.
For now, it's time for us to delve ourselves into the data, into the mud, and do the actual work. I think that's what we need. So I'm expecting a State of the Nation address which is going to be candid, which is going to accept that we have had issues in terms of the economy, and those issues are solvable, some of them, and I'm expecting the President to say, this is how we gonna solve these problems. We are gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the spirit of radicalization. That's the spirit of making sure that you are not doing things to make some people happy. It's no longer time to pat others on the back when things are not happening. This is time to say that we are going to do the manufacturing sector. Let's do the manufacturing sector. I'm expecting the president in the State of the Nation address to tell us that the manufacturing industry is almost zero. Now we are going to revamp it, and then when Minister Gwengwe comes in with the budget statement, he's going to tell us how he's going to help to revamp the manufacturing sector. In that instance, my thinking is that Minister Gwengwe is going to resonate with the president. In that resonating, one aspect which is very important is to say that, look, we want to start our own manufacturing industry. For instance, we heard about the constituency industrial funds in the last budget document or statement. We have not seen anything happening on the ground, and I've been saying why. Because if every constituency is going to have a manufacturing company, maybe that can transform us in some way. The value chains. How is it that we want to export commodities that we have actually added some values? So that value chaining, we need that from groundnuts, from soya. It's a pity we are harvesting soya, a lot of it, and we sell it raw, and then we buy the cooking oil from the same soya from other people in India, from other people in China. Why are we accepting that as Malawians? We shouldn't. We must be very, very angry within us. And I think that anger should be seen in the face of the president when he's doing the SONA. That anger must be seen in the face of the Minister of Finance when he is presenting the budget statement. And that anger, thankfully, is already being seen with the Minister of Trade and Industry. I'm expecting also a SONA which is going to tell us that we have spent so much money on things that are social in nature, which are not productive in nature. I'm expecting that the president, through the SONA, is going to indicate that, look here, we are going to finance some of our infrastructure development, and this is how we are going to do it, and these are the time frames. And I think that is very important, the time framing. I'm expecting the president also to candidly state that if there are people who don't want to share in the vision, in the actions that we are putting in place, those people better they must pave the way, or they are going to be shoved out, because we don't need people whose story is always to tell us how something cannot happen. I think we are tired with that. We need people who are going to tell us the stories about how things should happen, can happen, even if it seems impossible.
And we have seen such addresses in the past carrying very strong messages in the past, such as revamping the mining sector, giving ultimatums on mega farms, which have all flopped in the process. What goes wrong after such strong statements?
You see, when you are saying such strong statements without tasking a particular officer, there's a problem. My expectation is that we can task a particular officer. Betchani Tchereni, this is what you're going to do by this day. I mean, the whole nation hears that it is the responsibility of me, all right? So I will not fail the nation. But when you say that I want to see a mega farm by December without tasking a particular officer, you're not going to see a mega farm, because that's how government functions. It's a system based on X, based on Y, based on Z. But if you're going to say that this officer, this is your responsibility, I want to see the mining authority, I want to see the mining company, I want to see the mega farm, I want to see that, I want to see that, this officer by this day. If nothing happens, everyone knows that it's not the president. Everyone knows that it's not the minister. It is Yankho, it is Betchani, because these are the people who were tasked with this. So those people, because they don't want to be seen to be failures, they are going to come back to you and they will say, look guys, we were tasked to do this, but it's not working because we don't have this resource. It's not working because we don't have that resource. So they will be updating the nation and we will know what's going on. But a strong message without tasking an officer in a particular office, don't expect anything.
What are some of the quick wins and long-term gains for this nation that we should be perhaps be anticipating?
For me, in terms of quick wins, I think we have talked about this over and over and over until, I mean, look, how long does it take for you to, plant maize and harvest? It's 90 days for some varieties, 75 days for others, 80 maybe for some of them, 120 max maybe for many varieties. So if we take the 120 days, that gives you about 4 months maybe, isn't it? If you had a mega farm, talk about maybe 20,000 hectares of land, and we planted maize on that mega farm, food insecurity was going to be a thing of the past. So for me, I think number one, adopting organic fertilizers and bring them into mega farms, it is a quick win because the food insecurity aspect is going to be solved or resolved. That is going to solve the food inflation also, and then you can't be seeing inflation figures the way we are seeing them now. The second quick win for me is to leverage on the value chains. Many people, young people for that matter, are now going into soya. All right, they're growing soya, replacing it with tobacco and others. That then should tell us to say, what do they do with the soya? They do a lot of things. I mean, why can't we leverage on the value chain system so that, I mean, let's get the machines that are going to make the cooking oil, squeeze out the cooking oil, some that are going to make the animal feed, the soya pieces, and many other things. If you're going to look at that, if we had 10 factories which are doing those things, we are not going to be importing the cooking oil. We're not going to be importing the soya seed cake. We're not going to be doing that. So that is going to save our foreign exchange, number one. And number two, we're going to create the jobs. It is a quick win. Why? Because all we need to do right now is to buy the machine. If it means government buying the machine, let the government buy the machine. So when we buy the machine and the machine is here, we are squeezing the oil, we are employing the people. Other industries also are going to sprout up, and I think that's also something that we really need to see happening. The third part, it is a known fact that there's so much illegal mining happening in Malawi. A lot of it. If you go to Kasumbu, for instance, there are people, they're mining gold in there. If you go to the lower Shire, people are mining some gemstones in there, in Ncheu, in Palombe, in Mangochi, Lilongwe. So much illegal mining, or indeed, if it is legal, it is at the level of artisanal mining. We don't want to see a lot of that because it is disorganized. There are unscrupulous traders who are coming here from maybe China, from Tanzania. They enter Malawi, they buy those commodities, those precious stones at prices you're going to cry at the price that they buy. And when they buy, they go back home, they sell those commodities at internationally accepted prices. So for me, I'm saying, let us organize the mining as soon as yesterday. I wonder why it has taken so long for the mining authority and mining company bills to go into parliament. It has taken so long. Sometimes I wonder to say, hey, these people, they are able to put up cases, complicated cases in under to 24 hours. But it takes them how long? 2 years for them to think about or to come up with the mining authority bill. 2 years. 2 years. I think I don't know how we think about it. It shouldn't have taken us that long.
Bringing this conversation.
By the way, it angers me a lot.
Yes,
because
I know. I could definitely see you. That's why I didn't want to disrupt you.
This is an economy which we know that if we can just do things, this economy is going to be somewhere.
And bring this conversation to a close as we are also talking about the country's economy. What is the outlook of the Malawi economy as you perceive it?
It's not nice. Let's be honest. It's not nice. If we're going to continue doing what we are doing now, don't expect any transformations. No, it can't be. You don't expect that inflation is going to change, interest rates are going to change properly, and then there are going to be jobs, and then there's going to be, infrastructure development. No, it can't be. We are doing things. I mean, what's the definition of madness? Doing things the way you have always done and expect different results. You can't. I mean, we are still in subsistence agriculture. We are still AIPing with its politics there, AIP, subsistence agriculture, and we expect the economy to transform? No ways. It can't. We need, if a plane is going to move, if it is going to fly, it must leave the ground. That's just what it happens. So it must leave the ground and it goes up. Then the plane is flying. Right now we're not flying. We are still, doing the things that we always know that we do, these things. Let's shock the economy with new things. Let's shock it. If subsistence agriculture has not helped us, the truth is it has not helped us. Let's move away from there. Our vision is very clear. Agriculture commercialization. Agriculture productivity. That's our vision. And what are we doing about the vision? You saw the MIP one when the National Planning Commission was actually presenting about their results when they went around. We are off target in almost everything. Off target. Where is the Malawi Development Corporation that we are supposed to have, which is going to transform the industrial sector? It's nowhere. Whose responsibility is it? Nobody knows. And because nobody knows, nobody cares. We need to task people officers, when we task them, this economy is going to transform. As it is now, don't expect any transformation. No, we can't be dreaming. No. It's about doing.
It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you, Betchani Tchereni. Thank you very much for coming through today and giving us this insight
Thank you so much.
The performance of the economy. Betchani Tchereni, an economist from Mubas, having a conversation with us on some of the recent economic trends as they get to happen in the country. Today's edition of Breakfast Live continues.